worden. Gevaar en passie lijken samen te gaan. Het heet niet voor niets. Voor iemand vallen.
When you fall in love, it's an intense emotional experience. And one of the things we've known for some time is that intense emotional experiences can be transferred from one to another. Fear, anger, joy, ecstasy, love are almost interchangeable depending on the circumstances in which you experience them.
Een hoge hangbrug op een winderige dag is een mooie plek om de theorie te testen dat gevaar passie kan uitlokken.
We had an attractive young woman stand on this scary bridge, and every time a young man would walk across by himself, she would stop him and say, "Excuse me."
I'm doing an experiment for my psychology class on the effects of exposure to scenic attractions on creative expression. Would you mind filling out this questionnaire for me, please? There's a pen.
Almost all the men agreed to do it. After all, it was an attractive woman asking a man to do something. They didn't want to admit they were scared.
And then I have a picture for you to look at. And I'd like for you to write a brief dramatic story based on this photograph.
Okay. So the man would write the story, and when he was done, she'd say,
"Thank you. I appreciate your time. And I would love, I don't have a whole lot of time now, but I'd love to explain the experiment in more detail when I do have more time. So I'm going to give you my number, and then you can feel free to call me. It's at my hotel.
Okay. So she would write her name and phone number on the edge of her little sheet, tear it off, and hand it to her.
Great. Well, my name's Linda, so
okay.
I hope you call me.
Okay, Linda. Thanks.
Thanks.
She stopped 20 men on the scary bridge, and then she stopped another 20 men on another bridge that was a big, heavy, safe bridge, not very scary at all.
I am doing a project for my psychology class on the effects of exposure to scenic
Of the men who met her on the scary bridge, many more phoned her that night than the ones who met her on the safe bridge. The other thing we did is we looked at the stories they wrote. Far more romantic and sexual content when they met the woman on the scary bridge than when they met the very same woman on the safe bridge.
Volgens Aaron zoek je onbewust de prettigste verklaring als je hart in je keel bonkt. Als er een aantrekkelijke man of vrouw in de buurt is, denk je al snel dat je verliefd bent.
The question comes up, are we mistaking fear for love, or are we transforming fear into love? I would probably say you could look at it either way. Transforming or mistaking, it's a real desire when it happens. If you want someone to fall in love with you, bring them somewhere that's scary, that will stir them up. Roller coasters are not ridden by accident on first dates. Scary movies are a great place to go together.
She's seen the curse of Frankenstein.
Voor de een is verliefdheid een nachtmerrie. Voor de ander is het een kick waar je maar niet genoeg van kunt krijgen.
When it happens, it is the most wonderful, wonderful thing. Your eyes meet and there's a certain chemistry. It's almost like you're talking to somebody without saying anything. And everything's like, yes, you know, you're desperate to go and talk to this person.
You can get addicted to falling in love. Psychiatrists call it romance junkies. They're the kind of person who will see somebody from across a crowded room and then never go back to work the following morning and simply follow them around the country and around the world. And then as the brain chemistry for this passion begins to recede, they break up the relationship. They want that high. They want the dopamine high. And so they will go on to a next individual, fall in love with somebody else that they don't even know, and go down that road again.
Maar het kan ook een pijnlijke verslaving zijn.
Falling in love has been a dream since I've been about 15. For a long time it seemed to be the answer to everything, that, you know, if I fall in love with somebody, then all my answers will be solved, you know. In fact, it's not like that. And when somebody said to me, "Are you in love?" I said, "I've been in love all my life." And they said, "Well, that must be nice." And I said, "No, it hasn't. It's not nice at all."
In a way, love is an imprisonment. And it's an imprisonment dictated by brain organization. So you don't have, it's not a sort of a free option to choose that you should fall in love or to choose who you're going to fall in love with. It's a sort of golden prison, if you like, but it is a prison.
You knew how much I loved you, how much I still love you.
Maar sommige mensen worden nooit verliefd. In Amerika is 1/3 van de bevolking tussen de 16 en de 55 alleenstaand. Maar ze zijn bijna allemaal zoekende.
People think that there's magic to love, and they wonder why it is that you fall in love with one person rather than another. First of all, the timing has to be right. The perfect person could come over and flirt with you or sit on your lap, and you wouldn't notice them if you weren't ready to fall in love. So timing is essential.
Maar in het moderne leven zijn tijd en liefde behoorlijk schaars. In Los Angeles komen elke week Joodse alleenstaande mensen bij elkaar voor een avondje turbo-daten. En wie weet, om verliefd te worden.
I know many of you have done this before. You are going on 7 dates for 8 minutes.
Op een formulier kruis je aan met wie je nog wel eens wilt praten. Als de ander ook wil, heb je een match.
If you're number 17, and don't exchange phone numbers. If you're a match, we promise we'll call you with the person's phone number. No exchanging phone numbers.
Gewapend met een lijst vragen en een positieve instelling zijn ze er klaar voor. Wie zal de ware vinden? En hoe krijg je dat voor elkaar in 8 minuten?
I think that you can fall in love with somebody in much less than 8 minutes of conversation, but 8 minutes will do. I think that we are an animal that was built for love at first sight. You can simply look at somebody and trigger that brain chemistry for romantic love.
But that's really cool that you swim, because I don't know too many people that like swimming the way I do. So, you said you go and you exercise right before you go to work? See, now that's something I could never do.
In de eerste seconde vergelijken we elk nieuw gezicht meteen met onze liefdeslandkaart. En besluiten we of deze persoon geschikt is.
But to go and exercise, I couldn't. There's no way that I could ever do that.
In our surveys, we found that about 30-40% of people who've recently fallen in love say that it occurred during their first meeting.
Maybe my ego isn't as big as it could be. I don't know, but I try and be down to earth.
Yeah. I like to think I'm down to earth. I don't know if I am or not. So congratulations. I think you're the only one in LA. I mean, I've been looking for exactly the same thing.
A minority of people have certain cues that when they meet a person that has those cues, they're very responsive to them. It's often a tone of voice or a way of walking or a shape of the face. They may come from memory of your parent, or they may come from culture, some film you've seen.
It's a Wonderful Life, the Jimmy Stewart movie, the Christmas movie.
Jazz dance. So I was a theme park cruise ship girl, that kind of stuff. No stripping, nothing exotic to talk about. So just kind of that kind of stuff.
Do you enjoy sports at all?
Yeah.
We like people who are similar. We feel that we're more likely to get along with them.
And then I play tennis. And I bike ride.
I bike ride, yeah.
Physical appearance plays a big role in virtually every culture. But the main thing about good looks, it turns out, is not being good looking. It's not being bad looking. So as long as you can raise yourself out of being very ugly, you do all right. In fact, if you're too good at looking, there's even stereotypes that are negative about that.
So that was a fiasco. You know, the Northridge quake and cleaning up the fish and everything. I was like...
The suggestion in good looks, in wittiness, in intelligence, in warmth, all of these things are, my life will be enriched. My life will be expanded by being with this person.
You know, when they have the Japanese festivals, craft shows, we just do everything in LA because we've only been out here for a few years, so. Thank you very much. That was your last date. That was date number 7. Please take a moment.
Na 56 minuten turbo-daten is de vraag, wie is er voor wie gevallen?
Well, the question
is actually, what is your mission in life?
My mission in life?
I don't know about fall in love with, but I did meet a few men that I would go out with.
I moved down here. And no regrets. There were a couple of women that were really warm. And those warm, and I felt there was a certain amount of kindness. And to me, that's one of the most important aspects from a value standpoint. And plus, they were extremely attractive.
So you can be with your whole family here?
Family.
I don't think it happened for me tonight. I don't think I made the big love connection, but definitely met a lot of nice people that, you know, I might run into again.
We fell in love on the telephone. I was at home one Sunday and I wanted to speak to my girlfriend, and I dialed her number, but obviously I dialed a wrong number because I got Effie instead.
She said, you're not my girlfriend. I said, wouldn't I do instead?
I said, no, you wouldn't. But anyway, we chatted for a bit and then I put the phone down, as you do. But I really liked his voice and something made me call him back. And we spoke on the phone, on and off, for about 3 weeks, and then he asked me out. And I went with some reluctance, thinking this might all go horribly wrong. But the third time we went out together, he asked me to marry him, and I didn't take too long to say yes. And the end of the story is that we did get married, and we're having a baby in 6 weeks' time.